Hi guys, my name is Matti Sulanto, I'm a photographer, and in this video I'd like to share my Micro Four Thirds backstory. I know in my recent video I said I'd like to take some distance from gear talk and gear content, but this particular topic has been on my to-do list for such a long time that now I decided to do it. I want to share this because many of you got to know me here on YouTube when I was still a Lumix ambassador, which I'm not anymore, but I have a Lumix t-shirt on. I got this when I was still an ambassador, brand ambassador. But to be honest, this is not a real Micro Four Thirds t-shirt. It says full frame on the back, but we can't see it, so I guess it's still okay to wear this shirt in this video. And one more thing before I go to the actual topic of the video. I recently published a new e-zine called Micro Four Thirds Celebration. Please check out the link down below. It's a collection of my best or memorable Micro Four Thirds pictures. From the G1, the first Micro Four Thirds camera, all the way to the GH6, which is the latest Micro Four Thirds camera that I have used. I have included pictures from 25 different cameras and 29 different lenses. I had to leave out some cameras and lenses in order to keep the PDF file size manageable for downloading. But I believe it can be interesting and inspiring for anyone using Micro Four Thirds cameras. Please check it out, I'll put the link down below. And now let's go to the main topic of this video. Micro Four Thirds camera system has played an important role during my photography journey. I started using Micro Four Thirds cameras right at the start, back in 2008, with the G1, Lumix G1 camera. I did not buy that camera. The office that handled Panasonic PR here in Finland back in the day, they were really super supportive and helpful, and they let me borrow the G1 and many of the Panasonic Micro Four Thirds cameras over the years, and I had a chance to use many of them without having to buy them. The GF1 was the first camera I bought for myself, but with the G1 I immediately fell in love with the mirrorless system. I loved the idea to remove the mirror and all the DSLR components that made the camera so much bigger. However, I have to say that I fell in love with the mirrorless system, the mirrorless concept. I did not fall in love with the sensor size. It didn't really matter to me, the sensor size. It just happened to be Micro Four Thirds, and that was it. Anyway, I really liked the G1. And I think it was a pretty mature product considering it was the first Micro Four Thirds camera, the first camera for that system. Even the EVF was great. Of course, by today's standards, it's not much of an EVF, but back in the day I thought that if this is the future, let me have it. I want more similar cameras. So the GF1 was the first camera that I bought for myself with the legendary 20mm f1.7 lens. They came as a kit as far as I can remember. It was a fantastic combo, and I did not even mind the lack of viewfinder. Back in the day I still considered viewfinder to be like a mandatory feature on any camera. Today I don't mind anymore. I'm fine with cameras like the GX880 without any viewfinder, or other cameras without any viewfinder, but back in the day I still considered it to be mandatory. The first Micro Four Thirds camera that I considered to be good enough for the type of commercial photography I was doing back in the day was the EM5, the first one. And when I say good enough, I don't mean the image quality, even though that was fantastic back in the day, almost as good as on APS-C cameras. or APS-C sensors. I'm talking about the user interface and the control layout. It had beautiful 2 command dials, and everything worked so well that I was confident enough to take it on an assignment. I mostly shot corporate portraits on that camera. I also had another system, a DSLR system, still for some other assignments, but with that EM5 I shot many annual reports and corporate portraits. I also liked the small size of the system, the cameras and the lenses, but because I also carried a lot of lights and other gear with me, the size of the system didn't really matter that much. It didn't really matter if my camera bag was 4 kilograms or 8 kilograms, because I had like 47 kilograms of other stuff with me anyway. But still, it didn't hurt that the camera system was so tiny. The other really almost revolutionary mirrorless camera for me was the EM1, the first one. I bought 2 of those and I shot so many assignments on those cameras, and also took them on many memorable trips too. I of course owned many other Micro Four Thirds cameras during the years, too many to list here. I'm just mentioning here some of the most important Micro Four Thirds cameras that I used back in the day. The EM1, the first one, was also the last Micro Four Thirds camera that I used professionally. It was not because of the system, it was more the timing, because around 2014-15 I started considering like quitting all my commercial work, which I did eventually back in 2017. And I didn't feel like buying a lot of new gear or updating my gear, because my current gear back in the day was doing the job just fine. So I did not buy any of the Mark II, 3 and 4 or whatever versions of the EM1 and any of the later Micro Four Thirds cameras until I became a Lumix ambassador. Then I of course started using the G9 and many other Lumix cameras. I still have the GX9 and the GX880. At this point, I'd like to also mention an interview that I gave for another YouTube channel. It's a Finnish channel and the whole interview is in Finnish. However, the auto-translate works pretty well, so you can actually understand what I'm saying. And in that interview, I was talking about things that I have never mentioned on this channel. So it's a good chance to find out some more background info on me, and also if you'd like to hear me speaking my native language, please do check it out. I think it's really interesting. I'll put the link down below. So far I have mentioned some cameras which have been important and enjoyable over the years, and now I'd like to mention a few lenses that have also been enjoyable and very useful and great over the years. I'm gonna start with some zoom lenses, and one of the nicest regular kit zoom lenses in my opinion is the Lumix 20-60mm. And also one important zoom lens has been of course the Olympus 12-40mm f2.8, and another great telephoto zoom lens has been and still is the Olympus 40-150 f2.8. Really super fantastic compact telephoto zoom lens. Other remarkable lenses for me have been the Olympus 12mm f2, Olympus 17 f1.8. That lens is underappreciated, but I have shot so many nice pictures on that lens, and I think it's a really good lens. And of course the Panasonic Leica 25 f1.4, a fantastic standard lens. What else? The Panasonic 42.5 f1.7, a really nice short telephoto lens, as well as the Olympus 45mm f1.8. There are so many more, and yeah, one more, the Lumix 20mm f1.7, such a fantastic lens. I think those are the most important Micro Four Thirds lenses for me over the years. I might have forgotten one or two lenses, but anyway, please leave your favorite Micro Four Thirds lenses down below in the comments. I'd like to see that. Micro Four Thirds cameras and lenses have played a very important role in my photography. Because I've used them since the beginning and I fell in love with the mirrorless concept, and I still use them. My main Micro Four Thirds cameras today are the GX9 and the GX880, and I think I have about 6 or 7 lenses still. I especially like the GX880 because it's so tiny and versatile, and it's just a very, very nice camera. However, I'd like to put things into some sort of perspective here, because many of you consider me as some kind of a Micro Four Thirds guy who then converted to full frame and all that. Yes, Micro Four Thirds, like I said many times already, is important to me. But I have been a photographer for a long time, very long time already. I started as a recreational photographer when I was still a teenager in about 1975. So that's about 50 years of photography. And I was a commercial photographer long before any digital cameras were available for regular consumers. So even though I really still do like Micro Four Thirds cameras and lenses, they are still kind of a small part of my photography journey. I have used in the past, I have used almost every camera system and film size and sensor size. So I don't consider myself any kind of a Micro Four Thirds guy or Micro Four Thirds fanboy or anything like that. I just like to use whatever system works for the job in hand. So there you have it, my Micro Four Thirds backstory. Not a complete, super detailed story, but some highlights from the past years. I hope this was entertaining, maybe even inspiring. And yeah, please do check out that Easy Micro Four Thirds celebration. It's a really good one. I like it a lot. There are so many great pictures in that one. So thanks so much for listening. Thanks so much for joining in. I hope to see you soon in the next one.